I'm going to read Robin Hood, the Golden Arrow. Robin Hood and Little John were hiding out in Sherwood Forest. The two outlaws had tricked Prince John. They had taken his gold and given it back to the poor people he had robbed. While Robin Hood stirred the kettle of soup, Little John was hanging up the washing. Suddenly, their good friend Friar Tuck came rushing down the road from Nottingham. He tasted the soup. Then he said, "Have you heard the news? Prince John is holding an archery contest. All the archers in the kingdom are invited, and Maid Marian will give the golden arrow to the one who wins the contest." Robin Hood was very happy to hear the news. "I will go to that contest," he shouted, "and I will win the golden arrow and see Maid Marian too." "Wait a minute, Robin," said Friar Tuck. "How can you go to the Prince John's contest? All of his soldiers will be waiting for you." "Don't worry," Robin answered. "No one will know who we are. We will wear disguises." Robin dressed up like a long-legged stork. Little John dressed himself to look like a noble man of high rank, who really believed they were really two famous outlaws. On their way to the archery contest, they met the Sheriff of Nottingham. "Why, good morning, Sheriff," said Robin. "What an hour to meet you here." "And a good morning to you, my fine friend," answered the Sheriff. He never guessed that he was speaking to Robin Hood. As Robin and Little John drew near the castle grounds, they met all sorts of people. Everyone in the kingdom was counting to Prince John's archery contest. In the center of the field stood a very tall throne. Prince John was sitting there beside Sir Hiss, his adviser. Prince John smiled. "At last, we are going to capture that outlaw, Robin Hood," he said. "Are you quite sure, sir?" asked Sir Hiss. "Of course I am sure. Robin Hood loves Maid Marian, so I know he will come and try to win the golden arrow." "You should be careful," warned Sir Hiss. "Remember how Robin Hood and Little John stole the rings right off your fingers and the wheels right off your coach." "Silence, Hiss," roared the prince, "and don't ever let your hand be higher than mine." The line of archers marched across the field. They had come from all over the kingdom. Each archer carried a stout-looking bow. At the end of the line walked a tall archer on stilt-like legs. He was right in front of the sheriff. Little John did not stay with Robin Hood. He went straight to Prince John and bowed low before him. "And who might you be, sire?" asked Sir Hiss. "I am Sir Reginald, Duke of Chutney," answered Little John. "I have come to pay my respects to Prince John." "Please sit down, sir," said the prince. "We do not often get such fine visitors." Little John sat down right on Sir Hiss. "Sir Chutney, you have taken my seat," said Hiss. "Hiss, get out of here," commanded Prince John. "You are no longer needed. Go out onto the field and keep your eyes open for that villain Robin Hood." Just then Maid Marian came up to the throne with Lady Cluck. They bowed to Prince John. Then they sat down next to the royal throne and waited for the archers to file past. One archer, taller than others, handed a flower to Maid Marian. "It is a great honor," he said, "to be shooting for a lovely lady like you." Then he winked at her and walked away. "My goodness, Cluck," said Maid Marian, "the eyes of the archer do look familiar." Suddenly the trumpeters of the castle tower blew their horns. The archery contest was about to begin. The contest master walked toward the throne. He stopped in front of Prince John and held up the golden arrow on its purple cushion. The archers lined up in a long straight row ready to shoot. At the signal, each one, in turn, let the arrow fly toward the target. the sheriff and the stork were the best. The sheriff's arrow went right into the center of the yellow circle, but Robin Hood's arrow went right into the circle too. The first match had ended in a tie. Little John looked at Prince. "Did you see that?" he asked. "That long-legged archer is very good." "Indeed he is," the prince smiled. "I just wonder who he can be. Not many men can shoot as well as a sheriff." On the field, the sheriff and Robin Hood were getting ready for their next shot. "I can hear you are having trouble catching the rascal Robin Hood," said the long-legged archer. "Oh, it's no trouble," said the sheriff. "He's scared of me, that's all. But if he dares to come here today, I will spot him, even in one of those silly disguises." "Attention, everyone," shouted the contest master. "The sheriff and the stork from Devonshire will shoot again, but first they must move back 30 paces. The sheriff bowed very low. Then the stork bowed, at the same time waving to Maid Marian. Maid Marian waved back. She was smiling happily. Now she was sure that she knew who the long-legged archer was. "I think you look like that tall archer," said Prince John. "Oh, yes," answered Maid Marian, and her face turned red. "That is, he makes me smile." But the prince was not smiling, for he was sure that he knew who the long-legged archer was. It was the sheriff's turn to shoot again. This time his arrow went too high, but the target holder quickly raised the target. The arrow landed in the bull's-eye. Next, the stork took his turn. The long-legged archer aimed carefully and stretched his bowstring tight. His arrow flew straight to the bull's-eye. It knocked the sheriff's arrow to the ground. The stork had won. Friar Tuck roared with delight. He did it! He did it! All the villagers cheered with him. The long-legged stork from Devonshire was the hero of the day. Maid Marian had hugged Lady Cluck. Prince John whispered an order to the contest master. The contest master whispered the order to the captain of the Rhino Guards. Robin Hood walked to the throne and bowed to Prince John. "Archer," said the prince, "you have won the contest. Now you will get your reward." With a quick splash with his sword, the prince tore off Robin Hood's stork disguise. All the Rhino Guards grabbed Robin and tied him around and around with ropes. "Robin Hood, I've been waiting to catch you," shouted Prince John. "Now that I have you, you shall die."